Hi, good evening, and welcome back. It's the Health and Wellbeing Cafe. I am so excited. It's January, it's 2022, so this is the first official Health and Wellbeing Cafe of the year. So let's go. And I always have issues with the monitor. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited that you are here. For any of you that are watching the replay, I'm so excited that you're watching the replay. So I just want to know, for the women who are on the live with us, are you excited? Who's excited to be here?
Yeah.
Woohoo! Fantastic. All right, so just a little bit of etiquette. The session is being recorded, so if you're not comfortable with your face being on the camera, please turn your video off. Please keep yourself on mute, but to be fair, not yet, because it is interactive. And I don't know what Sarah's got planned for us, but if Sarah wants, if Sarah's asking us questions, it would be good to participate. So there will be time for you to ask questions. We can have a discussion, and we're going to be online together till about 9:30. So we have Alison, great to see you again. You were on a call with me yesterday. We've got Sarah, we've got Magda on the live. So just wanted to get some feedback from you about your expectations for this evening, please.
I think for me, I just sort of, I've always been one of these that I've believed in healthy eating. It's not until COVID has sort of, it's affected my mindset, and it has affected, drinking, eating, everything, because I think that we just all got that was all that we all felt that there really was to do. Watch the TV, snack all the time, and have a drink. And I've never been a big drinker. I'd probably have a drink once a week, but I think it was just so easy to probably just have more than one a week. One a week. I sometimes got that I was having one every night. So, but I'm always, and it's like, for me also, it's meeting new people. I just love meeting new people. So
fantastic. Great to have you here for the first time with us. And Magda, we are connected through the mummy group that I run. So it's great to have you on the call with us this evening.
Thank you.
What are your expectations?
I'm really interested in meal planning. I do this at the moment, so I try to plan my meals every week for whole family, but sometimes it's fell apart and I'm just, can't really stick to it. So I just want to, get some information, so maybe it would be useful.
Okay, well, you're in the right place, because I must say that after the call it was a lovely chat that Sarah and I had last Thursday, I implemented one of Sarah's ideas, like literally the next day. I will say I didn't do it tonight, Sarah, because it was a bit of a different meal time today. It was a bit rushed. But
today's been a day out.
Yeah, exactly. But when I had the time to just be more relaxed, I mean, as I said on that chat, I'm a good cook, I'm a confident cook, but speaking with Sarah really gave me more excitement about being in the kitchen and having meal times with the family. So I'm sure that for those of you that are on the call and those of you listening to the replay, you will definitely be able to pick something up. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Vanessa and I'm a lifestyle coach. And I've been working with women for the last 8 years now. And I describe myself as an ambassador of self-love. I focus on nutrition, I focus on well-being. I've moved into heart-centered coaching now. So there's a lot of different areas that I can support women with. So I'm really excited about 2022. Okay, so that's part of my vision, to empower and support women. Magda's not on that original photograph, but Magda, that is the group that I've been speaking to you about. It is coming back in the local area. So you'll be hearing me posting about that in our mums group. Very excited. I mean, those babies are not babies anymore. They are, most of them are about 2 or 3 now. So it's going to be a very different environment.
Oh, Tom is nearly 2, so.
Oh, exactly. And I met Tom when he was a baby. So yeah, exactly. So there's lots of exciting things coming up in my world locally, but also online. And I'm very passionate about what I'm doing. I was asked a question this week about why are you really doing what you're doing? And it only struck me for the first time that, you know, for myself, I've got a care background, and it was due to my mum's mental health condition. And it struck me for the first time that if I can support mums in particular, but women in general, with their well-being, to raise their, what I would say, their moods and help them with their mental health, then, you know, hopefully they won't be in a position where life is getting so bad that their children end up in the care system as well. But that's something that's only really just come to me this week. So you'll hear me talking about that a lot more this year. All right, so let's reflect on January, and I like us to think about celebrating those small wins. So I just want to share a quick story about the photograph I've used this month. It's with my fantastic friend, Magda knows her, wonderful woman in our local area called Ria. We've been going for a walk together on Sundays for about 2 years now, I would say. We definitely, you know, wanted to keep up with getting outside and making sure that we were boosting our immune systems. But we had a little bit of a break over Christmas for various reasons. So last Sunday was our first time being reconnected, getting outside in the fresh air. So that was my highlight for the month. Anybody else want to share about your health or well-being highlights, please?
Should I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Me, I don't know. I had COVID just before Christmas, and I get tired anyway, and so it took me a while to get over COVID, and it did leave me rather sleepy. But this month, what I've really done is, instead of jumping in the car and going round to the post office, I've walked and I've done the whole block, which is a start. And I used to walk every morning at 6:30 till 7:30 while I was at work. I'd be home by 7:30. I'd get showered and then I'd be at work for 8:30, 9 o'clock. An aneurysm that I had stopped that. And so it just was a slippery slope, and it's taken me really until sort of like this month to sort of get back on my feet again. But with regards to food, it's something that both Andy and I have done. We've both we're looking at portion sizes. So that's something else that we've sort of taken on board. And I think we talked about this yesterday, drinking more
water. You want it? Well done, Alison. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, I always start the day with lemon and hot water. Mm-hmm. But with regards to cup of tea, I could almost have it intravenously.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just the culture, isn't it? I mean, when I lived in the north, I lived in Manchester for about 8 years, and honestly, every other like offering was, who wants a brew? Who wants a brew? And you just found yourself going, yes, yes. But then at that point, I was having like 2 sugars in my hot drinks. So that was like a lot of sugar throughout the working day. So sometimes it is cultural. But thank you for sharing.
A friend of mine suggested whenever you go to put the kettle on, to make that cup of tea, so you don't miss out on those cups of tea, but whenever you go to put the kettle on, have a drink of water at that point. So you're getting your water in and you're still having your cup of tea.
That was suggested yesterday, wasn't it, Alison? One of the women on the call was saying, have a glass of water in key points of the house. So yeah. Magda or Sarah, do you have any health highlights that you wanted to share with us, please?
I'm not really, but at Christmas time, I tried 2 new fitness classes, like a bouncy boogie, which is on trampolines, and it was so fun, and I hope I will go back to it. And Last year, on January, I was 11.6 tons, and now I'm 10.7. This is really small difference, but for me, it's, you know, something. So it's just small steps.
Well, this is what I'm saying. We have to celebrate the small wins, because it's the small wins that will keep us focused and helping us to build momentum with what we're doing. So congratulations, Magda.
Thank you.
And Sarah, do you have anything to share at all?
Well, just before Christmas, I started going swimming every Tuesday, trying to get back into doing a lot more for myself after having 2 children. I had to take a break over Christmas, but I'm back on it, and I've been for 2 weeks in a row now. So, and I've got next week booked in. So it's definitely a regular on my schedule that I want to keep going.
Fantastic. And it's all about planning, isn't it? Whether we're talking about food, scheduling our exercise, scheduling when we're going to drink water, you know, you've got to make that commitment, make that decision, make a plan, and then follow through.
Yeah,
So
it's about making it a priority as well, I think.
Exactly.
Prioritize yourself and what you need to do, and
make space in your day for it to happen. So
I found one of the worst things for me is once I've often got sat in front of my laptop or my PC, that I couldn't drag myself away, because I just found that I was just being drawn more and more into it. But sort of since I've sort of got my mojo back, I've sort of thought, no, you've got to do it. You've got to drag yourself away from it, because you feel better and refreshed and revived when you go back.
Exactly.
And it's that, you know, but
it's the sense of achievement. So let's just focus on what we are planning to do in the month ahead. So, you know, we've spoken about the wins. Is there anything in particular that you're feeling, actually, I really want to put some more concentrated effort in that area? What would it be for you, Alison, please?
For me, I want to start yoga. I used to do Pilates, and I did it for many, many years. And then, as I say, I had my aneurysm and I had to take some time out because it affected my right eye, a bit of balance and everything. So I didn't do it for a long, long time. Then I got started going back, and then COVID struck, and I've not been able to get back into the classes. But I think for me now, after COVID, a little bit of meditation and yoga is the way forward. And I enjoy swimming, and we've been going swimming, and I find that therapeutic, not going up and down, you know, like 100 miles an hour, but just gliding, as I call it. But yeah, yoga's the next thing, which is my plan to get my regime in February.
Brilliant. Sounds like a lot of fun. Magda, is there anything that you're going to focus on at all in February?
I would like to reduce sugar, because after Christmas I think I ate too much, and I still have this habit of, you know, having something sweet during a day. And I would like to back to swimming as well, but the key is planning. So I try to plan lots of things this year so I could, you know, join in this you know, events like this as well.
Yeah, fantastic. It's brilliant. Okay, so let's move on. So I just wanted to add that part of my vision is to support and empower children as well. So I do work, in fact, the woman that you saw on the other screen, Ria, it's her dad who is the founder of a charity. It's based in Nottingham, but he works with families in the Gambia. So he set up a charity called Aid to Gambia, and I've been supporting them. And I'm a member of Herbalife Nutrition. Well, I partner with them. So Herbalife Nutrition have got the Herbalife Family Foundation. So this year I will be doing more fundraising activities for both of those charities. So I hope you'll be supporting me with my endeavours. Right, something got mixed up. I think my slides have got a bit mixed up somewhere. Let me just stop the share a minute. And I don't know if I can sort it out now. Just bear with me half a second, please, because that is not in the right order. I was supposed to be telling you about what's coming up, and it is in the wrong order for some reason. Is that right? Okay, no, I don't. I think maybe I just pressed something wrong. It's always the case. Oh, Sarah's with us. Hi, Sarah. Sorry, I didn't see you. Once the
Hello.
Hi, you're calling in from Norway. Thank you, my dear. You know, once I've put this screen on, I can't necessarily see. Okay, so here we are. So about tonight, sorry about that. I like to start off with a bit of personal development. It helps us with our mindset. We've got the fabulous Sarah here with us, who is a meal planner and family meal times mentor. So fantastic. Then we're going to have a quick break. Now, there is a raffle that you can join in. You do need to actually enter, and there's a link that I will post in the chat shortly. The raffle will be open until 9 o'clock, and the prize this month is the the fabulous cookbook. Sarah's fabulous cookbook. Absolutely amazing. Okay. So when we come back from the break, I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about transformations. And this is physical transformations, but actually everything does start with your mindset. Then we're going to talk about the health hack. And this month it's about fixing your fiber. Then we'll do the raffle. I want to tell you about a product that you may be interested in knowing more about after the, I call it a show, after the, after the chat that we're having here. And I've got some exciting dates for your calendar. And if you want to stay, then we can network afterwards. So here we are. It's all about the mindset. So this section is change your mindset to change your life. I love to start with a quote. And this, oh gosh, what have I done there? This quote is very interesting because it reads, life isn't about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself, which is really good. But the topic that I've chosen to talk to you about this evening is never to doubt yourself. Okay, so I'm just going to stop the share because I do want to be present with you, and we're going to talk about this topic. So never doubt yourself. Can you relate to this? So just give me a show of hands, or you can use the interactive icon. If you can relate to feeling like you are not ready, so there's something big happening in your life, but you're feeling like I'm not ready for this. Or have you ever felt like you are not good enough? Or are you doing something in your life where actually you're thinking, I'm an imposter, I shouldn't be here? Is this, have you ever felt like this in your life at all? So basically your feelings are real. Don't be afraid to feel the emotions that come up whenever you're actually having moments of self-doubt. You need to acknowledge your feelings and honor your feelings. But the key thing is to take action. This is going to help you to feel in control of your situation. So the trick here is that you've got to discipline your negative feelings. Okay, don't sit in the feeling. Don't let that feeling take you to a point where you don't do any activity. Be patient with yourself when it seems like nothing is going your way, because there's always big things happening for you that you cannot see. Basically, if you don't take action, the pain of regret is something that you cannot undo. So Alison's on the call with me, and she was on a call yesterday that I gave. So this is a little story that I want to share here about self-doubt. I have been attending business networking meetings in the group that we both are in for about the last 10 months. I've observed and I've listened to other speakers come on. We have an opportunity to speak for 20 minutes, and it's really about a topic that you feel passionate about. So I've learned from others. but I felt stuck about wanting to be in that spotlight. I didn't want to really promote myself. And I felt anxious when the team leader asked me to basically speak. And it wasn't about a fear of public speaking. I know that that can cause a lot of anxiety. It wasn't about that, because as you can see, I do this monthly call. I'm not as afraid of speaking. It was more having imposter syndrome. You know, I do coaching, and in the business and networking, there's lots of different coaches. So some do coaching very similar to what I do. Some are coaching in other areas of health and well-being. And for some reason, I just felt like I don't know what I can say that they don't already know, I suppose, really. But I had to make a decision that my voice and my experience and what I know to be the truth about what I do and how I coach women is valuable. And I have got something to offer and something to share. So I did the talk, and I got some feedback immediately, because we can have a one-to-one with each other. And the woman I was having a one-to-one with said, it was mind-blowing, and she took lots of notes. Alison's on the call. Don't want to put you on the spot. Did I do all right? Yeah, Alison's nodding. So brilliant. Thank you, Alison. So basically, I've shared that story because I want you to think about, what is your vision for yourself? If there's an area of your life where you're not feeling that confident and you're having self-doubt, what skills do you need to focus on or practice? Basically, repetition is the mother of all skills. So like I said, it wasn't really the fact that I wasn't comfortable speaking. It was the fact that I'd never spoken to that particular group. So now I've got to get used to speaking to that particular group. You must identify your weaknesses and don't be emotional. You know, I spoke about this yesterday, Alison, about being willing to be self-reflective, okay? So identify your weaknesses, but don't be emotional and start pulling yourself down or beating yourself up. You've just got to accept that this is the point where you are right now. And that's your baseline. What you then do is you seek out the tools, the teachers, the books, the mentors, the groups of people that can help you. Self-mastery is a habit. So just start small. I attended the meetings, as I said, over 10 months. We call it a 40-second elevator pitch, where we have to introduce ourselves at the beginning of the call. I built up friendships. So even Alison and myself, we've spoken outside the meeting. I met Sarah at the same meeting. So all I'm saying is start small if you are feeling a little bit not sure of what you're doing. Self-mastery is a process. You have to be willing to tell yourself, actually, I didn't really get it right today, but I'm going to start again tomorrow. There's nothing wrong with just reaffirming I'm willing to start again. Sometimes the pain of feeling the negative emotions such as doubt, worry, or insecurity will actually stir you up so much inside that it's going to drive the momentum that you need to make those positive actions and also to stay focused. It's going to take work, but you must be prepared to do whatever it takes. There's a woman that I follow called Gloria Mayfield Banks, and she's a leader in the network marketing industry. And she says 3 things around this whole topic I would talk about now, self-doubt. She says you've got to have courage, confidence, and make choices. So she says a lot within each section, but things that stood out for me was have the courage to change the conversation. So is this the conversation that you're having in your head about yourself, about this particular situation? Or is this the conversations that you're having with others who may be actually, rather than pulling you out of this self-doubt, are almost like agreeing with you? And talking you into it. So do you need to like change the people that you're hanging around with, maybe, you know? have the courage to take the classes. So if there's an area, like I said, that you feel you need to know more about to get that confidence, go and take the class. So when it comes to confidence, you have to be prepared to keep rebuilding yourself. Again, I mentioned this yesterday in the talk, that confidence is something that we practice every day. And Gloria says that you may be confident in one area, but actually when you start something new, you find that you're not confident in that area and you want to give up. Well, no, don't give up, just keep going with it. And finally, you have to start thinking about the choices that you're going to make. What decisions have you been putting off, maybe in 2021, that actually have been holding you back in your life? So what decisions and choices are you going to make for 2022 that actually, once you know, you can step into that, take the action, build momentum, you're going to have a fantastic opportunity of self-growth and self-development. Okay. All right. So that's that section. Anybody want to come back on anything that I've said? We've got a few minutes before we move into the next. Hi, Alison.
I can relate to all of that. Last year I had a really, really good year. And my mindset was really, really positive. But sort of this last fortnight, it's just been a little catalogue of things, not disasters. And I did a class last night on our new TSTV system. And a group of the ladies was just, they'd had a drink and they were really, really, it was almost like they wouldn't be naughty children. I was getting frustrated. So the route I was trying to follow, I was struggling to follow it. And I went to bed last night feeling really as if nobody took me seriously in what I did. And that they think that because what I'm doing now obviously is multi-level marketing, that it's not a proper job. Well, I said to her, I had a real good old rant and rave. Anyway, I did actually park it last night. Obviously, I went to sleep thinking about it, but I've got up this morning and some of the ladies that was on that in that group, and they were being really, really giddy. So of course, it's like you can't control them when they get like that, because I was trying to take them through a process and talk to them about the products and about how to use them and everything. And so for me, I feel that is something that I need to improve on.
Which particular aspect though, Alison, which aspect would you be focusing on there?
I think it was just the fact that I came away from that class last night feeling as if I felt frustrated, and I seriously felt as if people weren't taking me seriously, and that, you know, what I do for my living is just nothing. It doesn't amount to anything. Not nothing, that's not quite the right word. So and it sort of left me, you know, but the time I went to bed I was feeling quite doubtful about myself. Okay. And it's not well, it's not, as I say, it's been a long time since I felt like that. But I think that, like, you know, listening to what you talk about and like making a choice to turn that conversation around in your head.
Yeah.
And that is what I think I did this morning. And you know, I've put it to the back of my head. I've dealt with it and I've put it to the back of my head, but it wasn't a pleasant situation.
I definitely hear you, Alison. I mean, there's something that I will share with you all later in the announcements, but actually that has come from having those feelings of self-doubt, frustration, like, what am I doing? Do you know what I mean? But as I've said, sometimes these feelings, as long as we let them go, just don't hold on to them because it will drag you down. These feelings can make you want to work out the solution. Like if something's not quite going right, it can drive you to go, okay, I've identified what the problem is, but what is the solution? And sometimes you don't even get that right. You think, okay, I can fix it with this, and it's still not right. And then you go, okay, I can fix it with it. And but the point is, self-mastery will take time. Okay,
Yeah.
so just keep going. All right, so it is now past. I'm going to put my slides back up. Just bear with me, and please let me know, can you see the slide? Because I've had problems in the past where I've been speaking.
Yes,
I've been speaking for about 5 minutes and no one could see the slide and nobody told me. But anyway, you can see it. So we've covered self-doubt and we're all good. So now, oh, before we move into the next section, sorry, I just wanted to let you know I do run my happiness group coaching and accountability club. Now, this is where you can come with anything that you are wanting to work through. You might feel stuck in an area, you might not be feeling confident, you might have an idea for your business or for your life that you're thinking, I'm not too sure. And it's a safe space where not only can talk about it, get feedback, but you can also be held accountable to make sure that you're working through on those things, those intentions that you want to do. So to come into the group, you do need to have a clarity call with me, but it is a complimentary session. It lasts for 60 minutes and you'll come away with an action plan and a goal setting sheet. And then the next group is Thursday, the 3rd of February. Now, there is only 2 places left in this particular group on a Thursday night. It's only because the whole group it's supposed to be an intimate conversation, so everyone gets a chance to speak. So there's 2 places left. So if you feel like you want to work on some issues and Thursdays are good for you, then let me know and we can have that clarity call. All right. Oh, and there's some testimonials, but I ain't got time to go through them. It's a fantastic place to be, put it that way. Okay, so here we are. We have got the wonderful Sarah Alder with us. She's calling in from another city. So thank you so much for being on the call. You're going to talk to us about top tips for meal planning success. So get your pens and papers out, everyone who's here or listening to the replay, because I know that Sarah will give you some takeaways that you can apply into your home life. So I'm going to stop the share, Sarah, and it's over to you.
Am I okay to share my screen?
Yeah, of course. Does it just come up?
No, you need to.
It doesn't. I need to do something then. Okay, let's have a look.
Sorry.
No problem. No, it's a problem. Okay, so I'm going to make you the host. There you go.
Alice is the host, not me.
That went well. Alison's like, oh, I'm not prepared this evening. Okay, sorry.
Do my talk, Alison.
Sorry about that. Right, and I was getting all comfortable. Right, it's all going Pete Tong, as they say. Right, so Alison's the host. So oh, Alison, you have to do it. I can't do it now. Oh, that's why it wasn't working.
You're on mute, Alison.
You're talking Alison, to us. We can't hear you.
Right, I'm just having a look at this. I've got switch camera, switched gallery view. It's none of those because I'm on my iPad. Then I've got mute, stop video, share content, participants, and then
you need, and then you need to click me, Sarah Alder, kitchen tips.
And it'll ask you, do you want to make Sarah the host? Are we done? Yay! Thank you very much, Alison. Thank you, Sarah.
You're never too old. Every day's a school day. Every day's a school day.
Excellent.
Right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, everything's all good.
I just need to get rid of you all. Otherwise I'll be distracted. But I'd like it to be interactive. So if you've got questions, then if you put them in the chat for me and I'll pick them up as I go, or would you like to just shout them out at me? Whatever's easiest, Vanessa.
Yeah, I mean, I think because we're a smaller group this evening, if you're comfortable having that conversation, it would be nice. It would be nice for the women to directly speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a quick dive into meal planning today. But first, just a little bit about me. So I'm Sarah. My business is Kitchen Tidbits, and as Vanessa said, I'm a meal planning and family mealtimes mentor. So I work with people one-to-one in small groups, online, as well as doing community group talks and talks such as this in memberships and wellbeing groups, to get my message out to as many people as possible. So I work to help people to cut their food bills, to waste less food, to save time and energy in the kitchen, to feel more control and organised. I also work with parents to support them to improve their family meal times, specialise in working with parents of fussy eaters, to support their children to develop a love of food, to eat a wider variety of foods, and for everyone to put the fun back into meal times. I also teach people to cook. It's about teaching new skills and building confidence in the kitchen, because if you feel confident in the kitchen, again, that can take the stress away from meal times. And I am all about transforming meal times from stressful to stress-free in whatever way possible. I do the things that I do because I feel that they're essential life skills, and I was fortunate enough to learn these skills from my mum and from my grandma, being in the kitchen from a very early age. But so many people are missing out on these skills. Mums, for example, are going back to work very early. I was fortunate that my mum stayed at home with us until we went to school. So we did have that time with her to learn, which many of us can't afford to offer our children these days. And also home ec and food skills are not taught in school in the same way. So I just would like, Kitchen Tidbits is my way of being able to share my passion and my energy and my knowledge for all things in the kitchen, to support people to eat well, to work efficiently, to be less stressed, to save money, and to help reduce food waste for their impact both on their budgets and on the environment. So I want to kick off with a little quiz, so please off mute and shout out your answers as I do the quiz. So the first question is, how many, in the UK, households waste how many tonnes of food each year? Is it A, 4.5 million tonnes, B, 4.5 billion tonnes, or C, 4.5 trillion tonnes? What do you think?
Maybe B.
Yeah, I'd go for B.
I'm going to go for B as well.
Yeah, should we have a look?
Yeah.
4.5 million tonnes. So, you know, it's a huge amount of waste, but luckily less than you were thinking.
Oh, okay. That's good then. Actually, wait a minute. There's what, 78 million? Is it 70 million in England now, population? Yeah, maybe we was a bit out.
Yeah. Okay, second question. The average person cooks how many different meals on a weekly basis? Is it 4, 6, or 10?
4.
4, I think 4. Maybe 6. I cook 6.
Yeah, I will go for 6, but if I based it on what we do, it would be 10.
10. Oh, that's good going.
Yeah. I mean, and Andy, he loves cooking, and he does the majority of it. He's head chef, and we do have a meal planner, but it's like tonight it all went to pot because he ended up with a work call that lasted a lot longer, and so we try and stick to that. And then we always, like today, I did a beef stir fry for lunch, and the plan tonight was to have like a chicken curry. So we do, as I say, we do vary our meals quite a lot every week. Yeah. So, you know, we try. Anyway, what's the answer?
Well, Alison, you're doing better than the average, because the average person cooks just 6 meals. So 6 meals on a weekly cycle, week in, week out, eating the same meals. So question 3, what percentage of households don't plan their meals? Is it A, 8%, B, 35%, or C, 78%? What do you think?
It's 78. I think
Yeah,
it's
I
high.
think
Not many people meal planning.
I think so.
I'm going to go for B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think C. I don't know lots of people who who do the meal planning.
Yeah. Okay, should we find out?
Yeah.
It's actually B.
Oh,
I'm
Alison!
surprised by that,
Alison's a bit
because
more
when I
mature.
talk to people, there aren't many people doing it, but apparently.
And it, again, I think that what started us doing it was we sort of knew so many people that did do it, and we'd gone away to the lakes for a weekend, and we walked into this shop, and there was these 7 chalkboards on like a hanging thing, and so I said, why don't we start meal planning? And that's what we've done, and we've done it now for probably about 18 months.
Fantastic. So question 4, what percentage of shoppers don't look in the fridge before they head off to the shops? Is it A, 24%, B, 48%, or C, 62%? We check what we've got before we go shopping.
I think 62.
62, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, 62.
Do you, Alison? Do you check? Do you plan it? You check?
I don't. What we do, we have a list. I sound like the absolute perfect.
Yeah, don't teach me anything, Alison.
We have on the fridge. We have a thing to write down as soon as we
Oh,
run out.
we have the same, yeah.
Yeah, and we write on there. But before we go, Andy looks to see what's in the fridge, and whenever he's been shopping, every Saturday he cleans the fridge out. Without fact, I'm not. Yeah, seriously, I'm not allowed. Hey, I get into trouble if I muddle things up in the fridge. Sorry, it's a real. It's not OCD to sort of a manic degree, but he does like a tidy fridge. But I think that's born out of he knows where everything is. He could go straight to it for when he cooks.
He's a man after my own heart.
Andy can iron. I'm not sharing him though.
Andy can iron.
So the answer is 24% don't look in the fridge, which is a lot less than mine.
Okay. Gosh, Magda, I don't know what type of friends we.
Yeah, I think I'm really negative about how people planning meals.
I think people lie when they give the answers.
I think so.
Question 5.
We didn't hear from Sarah actually. Sarah, you must tell us what your experiences are as well, Sarah. Sorry, Sarah and Sarah, I'm getting them mixed up. So
the last question, what percentage of shoppers don't make a shopping list? Is it A, 10%, B, 38%, or C, 74%? I think 38%.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I won't be so negative, so I'll just say B.
Sarah, what are your thoughts on that one?
Sorry, I get so confused because it's Sarah. I don't really see the difference when you say one or the other.
Sorry. What percentage?
I just went to the raffle thing, and it was so sad to see that it was only for UK residents.
I know. I'm sorry, my dear. I'm sorry.
But
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No, sorry. Just continue. I will ask later.
Yeah. But that question, I would say 74. I'm one of those. I'm really bad at plan food and going with a list to the store.
Okay. And we've got a different experience. Mark does write the list, but I would say he writes it from his perspective. I try to tell him the key things that always need to be on the shopping list for me. So things like tofu, some of the bean salads that I eat. I always say, oh, almond milk. So I'm like, make sure these are always on the list. So he'll put those key things on, but then he won't put other things on. And then when we go shopping, I'm going, oh, I need this and I need that. And then I frustrate him because it's like, it wasn't on the list. But carry on, Sarah, sorry.
No, Sarah, you were right. 74% of people do not make a shopping list before they go shopping.
So that is high.
Blows my mind.
Wow.
And it's also a bad thing to do, is to go shopping when you're hungry.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Never do that. Okay, so beyond these statistics, some of which are shocking, how much time and energy do you put into thinking about shopping for and preparing and serving meals? And I think thinking for is key there. If we don't do any planning, how much of the day does it take up thinking, what on earth are we going to have for tea tonight? It can take up your mind for the whole day. And wouldn't you like it to be quicker and easier? Well, meal planning is the answer to many of those issues, and will get you going into good habits to keep you moving forward. So what is meal planning? Well, it's about getting into a habit, learning a new habit, about getting organized for the weeks ahead. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it is a habit, so we have to learn to get into the habit. And why plan? Well, no last minute panicking about what to eat, no standing with the fridge doors open, wondering what on earth we're going to have for dinner, thinking it's going to tell us the answer, because it doesn't ever, trust me. Doing some planning means that we tend to eat a wider range of meals, more than those 6 on a weekly cycle. So no more being stuck in a rut, eating those same meals week in, week out. And if we eat a wider range of meals, then we're going to be eating better and more healthily, because we're going to have a wider range of ingredients going into our guts, which our guts are going to thank us for. Doing some planning means we can be prepared, we can have a shopping list, we can know what we need, which leads to fewer trips to the shops. We can do one weekly shop, get everything we need, and no nipping back because we haven't gone, we've gone without a list. We're trying to think off the top of our heads, going around doing supermarket sweep, picking up what we think we might need, and then actually getting home, finding out that we haven't got half the ingredients we need for a meal we thought we might make, and we've got 10 of something else that we really didn't need. And doing some planning saves us time and money, it reduces our stress, and it helps to reduce food waste as well. The hardest part can be getting started. So some tips for getting started. First, schedule some time in your calendar to do it. So if we think about work tasks and meetings, appointments, they're always in our calendar to prompt us to do them. It makes them a priority. So make meal planning a priority and schedule some time in your calendar to do that as well. But do it when it makes sense for you. There's no point in trying to do some meal planning on a Sunday evening if that is not when you're in the right mindset for doing meal planning. If Sunday evening is when you just need to put your feet up, you need to give yourself some time to get ready for the week ahead, then you're setting yourself up for failing if that's when you try and do your meal planning. So how about trying to do it over a lunch break, for example, or in the week on a weeknight where your head's already in that work frame of mind. Perhaps you need to break it down into 10-minute intervals over 2, maybe 3 nights. As you get more used to it, you get quicker at doing it, and it'll take less time. But initially, maybe breaking it up makes it feel less overwhelming and less time consuming. One of the ways that I like to introduce meal planning is to do it over dinner time. You're already eating, you're already thinking about and talking about the food that's on offer at meal times. So why not do some planning ahead at the same time? And if you've got children, it's a great way to get them involved as well. It's not just your responsibility then, not just something else to add to your list of jobs. And getting their involvement as well can be really useful in getting their buy-in for the meals, getting them to make some suggestions, and it will help them to eat better as well, because they'll have had some input. Their opinions count, but also that they'll know some of the challenging meals, the meals that are new to them or that they're not particularly keen on. They'll know that they're coming up and can get themselves ready for that. So it'll lead to fewer battles around the table. Make it a habit. So like I said, meal planning is a habit and we need some help to get into the practice of it. So scheduling the time in the calendar will prompt you to do it. Doing it around the dinner table, again, helps it become a habit. It's a bit like some of the exercises that we get taught to do, as they tag it on to something else you're already doing to help it become something that you do instinctively without thinking about it. So if you think about brushing your teeth, we don't think about that, do we? We naturally know that we need to do it in the morning and we need to do it in the evening. So we need meal planning to come to that point. So having it in our calendars, doing it at dinner time and tagging it onto an activity we're already doing will help you make it a habit and something that you can stick with long term. Know your reason why. Why are you going to do some meal planning? Is it because you want to save money? Is it because you want to reduce your food waste? Is it because you want to eat better? Whatever your reason is, keep that in the top of your mind. It helps you keep motivated to carry on doing the meal planning and keep going, especially on those days where it comes to meal planning and you feel like you can't be bothered. So, what is your reason why? Why do you want to do it? What's going to keep you doing it ongoing? And then there's nothing more that can be said other than to just do it. Honestly, the thought of doing it is always worse than actually getting on and doing it. So stop putting it off, eat your frogs and get going. So a meal planning template, a simple one like this, can be a really useful starting point. It helps you learn to get to know what to include in your plan, and helps you get into the habit. And once you've learned what needs to go into it, once you've got into the habit of doing it, then you can make these templates work more flexibly for you, or you can step away from the template and do it elsewhere. It's about learning what needs to go in and then making it work for you, using whatever works best for you. I have got a free download, which I can share the link to when I've finished talking, Vanessa, and it includes a simple template to help people get started. So some top tips for planning success, just going over some of the things that I'm sharing this evening, but also then a simple template to get going. So find a way that works best for you. Get started with a meal planning template. If meal planning is something that you've never done before, then work out what's best for you. So that might be an app on your phone. You might find that easier, and there's often recipes available with the apps, so that you can pull on those instead of having to keep thinking of meals. And they'll often build a shopping list for you as well, so they can be a good way, a good starting point. Good old pen and paper, the chalkboards in the kitchen like Alison's is doing. I use a notes app on my phone, which is also available on my laptop, so I can access it wherever and whenever I like. That works well for me. So it really doesn't matter what you're doing. What matters is that you're doing it and that you're sticking with it. Then remember to check your calendar before you get going. If you know what's happening in the calendar, and if we go back to the template there, you'll see that there's a notes column, and that's where you can write in who's going to be around, who's not going to be around, whether you've got extra mouths to feed, for example, that can all go in the template. So that when you do your meal planning, you're not planning meals for when for people that aren't there to need the food. If you're not around, for example, you're going out for lunch, if you've got extra mouths to feed because you've got dinner guests or play dates, if you know about it, then you can plan your meals accordingly. And that includes, you know, evenings where you might be working late and you've got meetings, or children have got clubs. Put that in the calendar, because on those nights you might want to grab something quick and easy. You might want to think about cooking something that you can do within 10-15 minutes, or you might want to grab a batch cook from the freezer on those nights, just to stop you from thinking, okay, it's late, I don't want to cook now, I'm just going to grab you know, a piece of toast, a bowl of cereal, or get a takeaway. I recommend that we plan 2 weeks at a time at least. For one, it feels like less of a chore doing that. You're not having to do it quite so often. But also it gives you an opportunity to think about those ingredients that you might have in the first week that are going to last longer than just the 1 week that you're going to have to use up, and you can think about using those over that 2-week period. I now plan for a month at a time. It works really, really well. I'm investing a little bit of time to do the planning, but I know it's off my list. I don't have to think about it for another few weeks yet, and boy, does that feel good. So dealing with change of plans, a lot of people resist meal planning because they think it's not flexible, but actually once you get into the habit of meal planning, you can find ways to make it more flexible, to make it work for you, and to know how to deal with change of plans. For example, you've planned a meal like Alison did tonight. So what are you going to do with those chicken curry ingredients? Well, you can swap around your meal plan and move that on to another day. Later this week, and a meal that you then pushing out goes into next week. You've already, you know, made a start on next week's plan as well. Or you could perhaps have thought about something else that you could have made very quickly with those same ingredients so that they're not going to waste. If you were planning to be out and suddenly you're in and you need to come up with a meal, then having a really well-stocked store cupboard can help get around those change of plans as well. And likewise, if people drop in at the drop of a hat and you need to feed them, whatever you were planning, if you've got a well-stocked store cupboard, you can make that food go further quite easily and feed them without any stress. And that leads on to the next point about knowing what you've already got in the store cupboard. So having a list or an inventory, if you like, of what's in the fridge, the freezer and the store cupboard. Not only does that help you with those change of plans, but it also is a really good starting point for your meal planning and coming up with some meal ideas. What have you got that you can use up before you go shopping? Then think about dinner first. Always plan dinner first, because dinner can lead to leftovers, which can be eaten for lunch the next day or can go towards another meal. It gives you the opportunity as well to think what you're making for that meal, and can you cook extra of it that can go towards another meal, can contribute towards a lunch that makes another meal quicker and easier to prepare on another day. Now, meal planning can feel overwhelming. Where are you going to come up with all of these ideas and the inspiration to fill every meal of every week? Well, you might enjoy theming your meal plans to make this an easier task. So some common ones are meat-free Monday, Taco Tuesday, there's Fake-Away Friday, Slow Cooker Saturday. In the UK here, it's common to have a Sunday roast as well. So thinking about those themes, you can still plan plenty of variety into those meals. There are many variations of tacos, for example, that you can have on Tuesday. You could even spread that theme further by going for burritos or fajitas one Tuesday instead. So plenty of opportunity for variety, but it really does reduce the overwhelm. And something that a lot of my families enjoy doing is pulling sticks out of a jar. And again, it does make the task of meal planning very, very easy. You spend some time up front writing some lists, some names of family favorite dishes on lollipop sticks or equivalent. Add in a few sticks with some new dishes that you might like to try. And then when it comes to sitting down to do your meal planning, take it in turns to pull out a stick. You need to pull out, 5, 6, 7 sticks for however many meals you need that week. And there you are, you've got your dinners sorted for the whole week. And from there, you can then look at your lunches and your breakfasts and your snacks as well. So it really does reduce the overwhelm and bring some fun into the meal planning and get the whole family involved. And then don't forget that there are more meals in the day than just dinner. So many meal plan templates allow you to plan just for dinner. They allow you to plan Monday to Friday, but remember, we eat every day of the week. And we eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. There's snacks for the children as well, and maybe even dessert sometime. So make sure you're planning for all of that. Then making life easier and more efficient when it's with meal planning, batch cooking and batch preparing. So it really does help to make life easier if you plan in your meal plan, and maybe once a week if you can, once a fortnight, otherwise a batch cook meal. So for example, a chili is a really good batch cook meal. You can make lots of that, portion it up and have it in the freezer. So those busy nights, those nights when you really feel like a night off, you can grab something from the freezer to keep you going, and you know that you're feeding yourself very well without any effort. But we often think that batch cooking only is a whole meal, but actually we can batch prepare elements of a meal as well. So we can cook extra pasta, we could cook extra lentils or beans, we can cook extra chicken or fish or tofu, whatever it might be. And all of these ingredients then can go towards another meal, and it makes life quicker, it makes life easier. And actually, if over a couple of days you can batch prepare a number of ingredients, you can have those boxed up in the fridge, which then allows you to do a pick and mix salad bowl, for example, for lunch without any effort, and you can have lunch on the table within minutes. So whilst I do advocate doing some meal planning, if you don't manage to make it work for you, if you do have a week where you really can't get the planning done, doing some batch cooking and some batch preparation really does help to ensure that you're eating well. Then getting organized, make some lists, as I said, have those lists of what's in your fridge, freezer and store cupboard that needs using up. But also have a list of meal ideas on the go as well. So those times where you see a recipe and you think, oh yeah, I'm going to give that a go, write it down in your meal idea list. If someone in the family suggests a meal, write it down. If you think, oh, we haven't had this in ages, we really should cook this, put it in your list, because actually when you come to sit down and do your meal planning, quite often you'll find that you can't remember those meals that had come to mind at one point. But if you've got your meal ideas list on the go, then actually you've got that to refer to when you sit down to do your meal planning. Then do some stocking up. As I said, your store cupboard can be really useful for when there's change of plans and when you need to feed more people. It's really helpful for a start for meal planning ideas. But long life ingredients in your fridge, your freezer, and your store cupboard will be really helpful to keep you going. And also towards the end of the month, you know, when you're waiting for your paycheck, for example, it can be a stretch, can't it? And actually, if you've got those staples in the store cupboard, then actually you'd be surprised. You could probably go at least a week without doing any shopping. And make it achievable. So don't plan new dishes for nights when you're busy, when you don't have the time to cook, because you're just going to put more stress on yourself. You know, a new dish quite often takes at least 3 times the time it suggests in the recipe to cook it. So a busy weeknight is probably the not best time to be trying that. So put those on your plan for the weekend, for example, when you might have a bit more time, where you may have an extra pair of hands to help look after children so that you can cook. Introduce variety in a way that works for you. So one new dish a week, one new dish a fortnight, one new dish a month, whatever it feels achievable for you and your family. And also with eating as a family as well, make that achievable. Don't feel like you have to put the pressure on to eat together every night. Don't feel guilty if that isn't possible. Do it as often as possible. Do it in a way that works for you and is achievable. So what's next? Well, you aren't expected to be a domestic goddess like Nigella, but following my tips, you're well on your way to being one. As I said, I'll drop a link in the comment in the chat for my top tips for meal planning success. So just a quick reminder of what we've talked about tonight, but also to give you access to that template, meal planning template. Please do check out my website for courses and resources. On there, plenty more about meal planning, family meal times, and reducing food waste. Come and join me in my free, stress-free family meal times Facebook group for more tips and inspiration and ideas. Vanessa's in there. I hope you're enjoying it, Vanessa. Finally, please, a challenge, schedule some time now to do your meal plan and drop in with Vanessa. Let her know how you're getting on. Use this group as a bit of accountability for getting your meal plans done, and for sharing some ideas as well. You know, everybody's got new ideas. And if you would like some inspiration, then either on my blog or on my social media, each week I share my meal plans, the food that we've been eating the week before, to give some ideas. And also on a Monday on my social media, I share a recipe of the week, again, to just give you some inspiration to drop in some new ideas. So thank you for watching. I hope you found that useful. Yeah, and open the floor up. Hopefully there's some time there, Vanessa, for a few questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah. That was fantastic. I mean, again, I've realized that there's some things that I need to improve on. I'm eating the same thing over and over again. And you're right, I could take these ingredients and just make it a bit more exciting. In our household, so I'm on a plant-based diet, and Mark isn't. So Zenta's on a plant-based diet with me. So there is that kind of, actually, well, on Monday we did have mince. So I had veggie mince and I made him, you know, meat mince. So I was thinking, I don't really want to do it all the time just because of time resourced, you know, I've got that pressure. But yeah, maybe if I planned it out a bit more, because Mark loves my cooking, but the busier I get, the less of my homemade cooking he gets. So
and that's where that batch cooking comes in, isn't it? You know, you could make a massive amount of that meat one.
Exactly.
It's only for him, and that can be in the freezer. And actually then those nights where you're cooking with the veggie mince, you could grab one out of the freezer for him. And if you, again, have batch cooked your own, maybe it comes to the time where you need to cook another meat one, you can cook the meat one and grab a veggie one out of the freezer for you and
I found the veggie mince isn't that great when you freeze it, so I would do that as the fresh, you know, homemade dish. But yeah, definitely to do Mark's pre-cooked. So thank you for that.
And the other thing as well is thinking, okay, you're cooking a vegetarian meal for you. Okay, it doesn't necessarily work with those mince-based dishes, but for other meals, you know, yours is the basis of it. And then could you add a little bit of meat or a little bit of fish on the side for him? So, you know, the main meal is your veggie meal, but there is that bit of meat protein for him as well.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, well, do you mind making me the host, and then if Magda or Alison have got any questions, then we can take them there, and I'm gonna basically give you a chance for those on the call. If you wanted to take a break, then you can do, but do ask. Thank you, Sarah. Do ask Sarah any questions that you've got from her talk, and thank you so much. So it was good to hear the quiz element as well, because that really puts things in perspective. Any questions for Sarah at all?
I don't have a really question, but I wrote down lots of tips, and I think I have to look at lots of things because my meal planning is not really great. But be honest, I have a question, because sometimes I forget to take out something from freezer, and then I end up, you know, cooking something completely different. It's just like, would you give me some tips to not forget, or just to have, you know, plan B?
Yeah, so if you've done some thinking ahead and you know what's coming up, you can get the food out of the freezer the night before and let it defrost, and that's the safe way of letting something defrost anyway. Let it defrost overnight in the freezer. You could put a note in your calendar once you've got something on your meal plan and you think, okay, I'll need chicken or whatever it is out the freezer for that. Put it in your calendar for the night before you want in that meal, so it pops up and reminds you. But if you do forget something out the freezer and you do want to cook it, you can defrost things in the microwave if you're gonna eat them straight away, and making sure that they're cooked, reheated right through to at least 75 degrees. Centigrade, that is. Or the other thing you can do is to put it in a bowl of cold water, and that does help it defrost quite quickly. So that is an option if you have forgotten and you've got an hour maybe to get something defrosted. Putting it in a bowl of cold water will help defrost it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to have to move on because the time is ticking. Are you okay for me to carry on, or did anybody want a quick break at all?
I just go get some more water.
Yeah, I had to fill up. I'll wait for you, Alison. That's why I went off screen. So while we're waiting for Alison to come back, I'm just going to go back to the slideshow. Oh, I don't think that's come through, has it? Something's not right there. Can you see the slides at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
brilliant.
yeah.
So we're waiting for Alison, but in the meantime, you know, for Magda, myself, on behalf of Alison as well, thank you so much. And Sarah had to go, but thank you so much for taking us through that, Alison. Oh gosh, Alison, you're on my mind big time today. Do you know what? Can I just share this? And this is going to relate to Alison. I thought about you before when I was on the walk. I took a walk before the call and you were on my mind then. So we must talk, because as you know, yesterday was all about intuition. So there's obviously something coming up there. Anyway, back to Sarah. Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing those top tips with us. The download, I can't wait to get my hands on that template. And yeah, we do have the raffle. Alison, are you going to join us on the raffle? If you are,
I saw something come up, but I'm one of these. I'm really not very techy, and I just lose track. So what have I got to do?
I will put it back in the chat. It's just the link that you need to fill in for me. Fill it in, and then you'll have time. Is anybody else techie? Could you help me out and go back up in the chat and get that link for me and share it with Alison?
Yeah.
So you'll have time, Alison. It's just a quick form. Thank you very much, Sarah. All right, so I'm going to press ahead. I just wanted to say thank you to my sponsor. Her name is Jeanette, and she runs a fantastic company called Any Green Will Do. And Jeanette has sponsored, I've got a series of health and wellbeing talks that I recorded over the summer and launched in November. It's called Elevate Your Being. And Jeanette is the sponsor for that particular program. So I always give her a shout out here. If you're running a health and wellbeing type business and you'd love to have your business featured in this section of our event, then please send me a message at contact@vanessa-mary.com and I can tell you about the very low cost opportunity to get your logo. Remember, this is a recorded event as well, so it's always going to be on the internet. So make sure that you're seen. All right. So let's just have this quick question before we go into part 2. If you can only eat one thing again, so okay, I know Sarah's told us we've got to be creative. But if you could only eat one thing again for the rest of your life, what would it be? Alison.
Egg and chips.
Oh, egg and chips. Why not?
It has to be my absolute all-time favourite, but I have to admit, we do not eat a lot of chips in this house.
No. And I would say the healthy version of that is to still have your egg but boil it and have roast. So you want sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
so
I knew you was going to say that.
Yeah, exactly. So you can just find the healthy version of the traditional egg and chips. Well done. Sarah, what would be the food that you would eat for the rest of your life? Only one.
Chicken and lentil madras.
Ooh. It can only be one. So yeah, I suppose that's the meal. You're thinking of the meal with your meal hat on. Magda, what would it be for you?
I think it would be dumpling with mushrooms because we eat only this at Christmas time. So that would be, like everyday meal for me.
A Polish delicacy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I want to eat it all the time. Okay, brilliant. I got a bit stuck when I was thinking about that question. I don't know. It might be, I know this sounds really odd. I'm going to choose chickpeas for now because they're so versatile. So as a vegetarian, you can do quite a lot of things with chickpeas. So I'll choose chickpeas. Anyway, so I just want to take you to the next section. This is about transformations. And this is really more physical transformations. But like I said, please bear in mind that these transformations have really started within the mind of the women that you can see on the screen. And at this point, I want to tell you a bit more about my story and my own personal transformation. So my background is in project management and event management. And basically, I got to a stage in my life where I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't eating regularly. I do have older offspring. And when they were younger, I got into the habit of not planning meals at all, Sarah, because everybody wanted to eat different things and they did my head in. But we were getting into a habit of having too many takeaways. So my energy levels were starting to drop, but actually I did a lot of exercise and I really didn't quite make that correlation that it was all about my food. So what I had to do was look for a solution. And that's when I came across Herbalife Nutrition. And I started to follow what I would say a personalized nutritional plan, which was good for me at the time. And I dropped two dress sizes. Then, as you can see, years later, so, Herbalife Nutrition has been part of my life for quite a while now. But in between that time, I fell pregnant. So I put the weight back on, put weight on with little Zenta. But you know, now obviously I am back on my, well, I was always on my plan actually. So all throughout my plan, I continued to take my products. But as a mother, I was breastfeeding, so I was making sure that I was making that extra calorie intake for the breastfeeding needs, but I needed to lose that extra pounds that I'd put on. So now I'm at the point where energy levels have always been good, but they're fantastic. I live my healthy lifestyle. My nutrition is on point. I will say this evening, a little bit more focus and meal planning could have helped this evening, Sarah. I don't know if a bean salad and kind of like that was it counts. No, that wasn't good enough. But when I'm not busy, I definitely focus on having fantastic nutrition, which does start with a fantastic breakfast, I must add. I take regular exercise. So as I just told Alison, I took a walk just before I come onto this call, and Alison was on my mind on the way back. And I work on my mindset daily. So, you know, everything that you do in life is going to make a difference. So what I like to do in this part of the session is really talk about health hacks. And you can see on the screen that I've covered quite a few. Anything that's in green means that we've already spoken about it. So what we're doing now is we're coming back with the series, because these things need to be repeated. And sometimes you need to hear a message 7 or maybe 8 times before the penny can drop. So we're talking about fixing your fiber tonight, which I thought was really quite a compliment to the message that Sarah's given us on the call. And I just want to start off with something that I've read, which is telling us that there is a UK fibre crisis. So I know we had Sarah calling in from overseas, but for any of you who are listening to this based in the UK, I just want to share some things with you that for all age groups in the UK, the average intake of fibre is actually below the government recommendation. So the recommendation is 30 grams of fibre a day in your meals. So as Sarah said, you know, don't just think about dinner, you have your breakfast, you have your lunch, and also, you know, your snacks. Now, adults are consuming around 18 grams of fibre, so that's obviously below the recommended intake. Now, the reasons for this are given that in the UK, adults and sadly children are not taking enough fruit and vegetables, and they don't really have the knowledge either. So for any of you tuning into this call, congratulations, because you know this conversation is about me giving you an opportunity to learn new things so that you can apply them into your life. Now, fibre keeps your digestive system healthy. You're really going to get fibre from the plant-based diet. This is why I love my particular diet. So, you know, we're talking about beans, lentils, fruits, whole grains, nuts, vegetables. And the benefits of fibre is it will lower your risk of heart disease, your risk of getting colon cancer, your risk of having high blood pressure. So what's going to happen if you don't get enough fibre in your diet? Well, there's some symptoms that are going to come up for you. Now, this is going to show up as constipation or bloating. You're going to, unfortunately, feel hungry after your meals, okay? If you're thinking about your blood sugar levels, your blood sugar level will start fluctuating. If you're susceptible to high cholesterol, then this could be showing up because you don't have enough fibre in your diet. You will feel fatigued, you will feel the low energy, and you may be suffering from inflammation. So the benefits of having fibre in your... Oh, Alison, I'm going to put you on mute there, sorry. Okay, the benefits of having fibre in your diet is it's going to make you feel fuller for longer. So if you have some nice vegetables with your meal. You've had those whole grains. Even like I said, the snacks that you could be having are nuts, seeds, that type of thing. You're going to feel fuller for longer. Now, if you're somebody who's struggling with your weight, then actually by feeling fuller for longer, you're going to reduce your snacking. So your actual, what you'd say, susceptibility to being obese will be reduced. And if you're somebody who's already a healthy weight, then fiber's great at helping you to maintain that healthy body weight. But remember, like I said, not enough adults in the UK are getting that recommended level of fiber. So I just want to ask you a quick question. Have you heard of a product called Beta Heart? Now, if you tell me no, I won't be surprised. Because, you know, as an independent Herbalife distributor, we actually get the message out by word of mouth, by making friends in the marketplace and telling our customers and our clients about the products that we have for different parts of their body, let's just say, that can help them. Now, Beta Heart is a nutritious vanilla flavored powder, and it contains oatwell. Now, oatwell is a trademark label, but this has got oat beta glucan in it. Obviously, I'm talking to you because Beta Heart is actually good for your upping your fiber intake. So it's high in fiber, and there's 3 grams of fiber per scoop of this product, and it's actually a good source of protein. So if you're needing to get more protein into your diet, then this product's going to give you 2 benefits there. If you're not sure what beta glucan can do, well, it can actually help to lower your cholesterol levels. So with this product, you're picking up 3 grams of the oat beta glucan. And if you do have high cholesterol levels, then you will get 1.5 of the oat beta glucan, which will help to maintain the cholesterol levels. So as I said, oat beta glucan will lower or reduce your cholesterol. And Beta Heart is actually approved by the cholesterol charity called Heart UK, who provide expert guidance and education on cholesterol. So, you know, this product has been approved by that particular charity. And if it's something that you wanted to speak to me about, then please do let me know. I normally do samples of my products, but unfortunately, this particular product I can't sample, but it does taste delicious. You can actually mix it with water, or I tend to put it into my shakes. Now, what I also offer is something called a body composition. And, you know, if you're having digestive issues, it means that your whole digestive system is not performing as it should. With fiber, what it's actually going to do is it's going to draw out the fat. It's so interesting when I do a experiment with one of our other fiber products, because I can actually show on screen how the fat's being sucked out. So what I do in this body composition is I actually can give you a reading of how much internal fat you have, okay? And this is important because you don't want your internal fat to get to a point where actually you're carrying fat around key elements, key organs in your body, such as your heart. So that was a bit of information from me. If there's anything that I've said that sparked an interest or sparked curiosity, please contact me and we can have a conversation. I'll do like I said, at no cost, the body composition with you, talk about your goals, and I'll tell you more information. So it is raffle time, and I do have an entry from Alison as well. So well done for making it. There's only 2 of you on the call, so it's just going to be a quick. It's going to be a quick draw tonight. So what I'm doing is I put one name here, and I've got the other name ready. I'm just going to reach over for Still got my angel in there. I'm going to keep the angel card there. I was talking about this yesterday. But I'm going to put the names into the jar. Okay, I am actually going to take my card out just so I can give this a shake. I love this part of the evening. Okay, here we go. Alison, I bet you're glad that you made the effort. I told you you was on my mind tonight. Congratulations, and thank you so much, Magda, for participating there. So, Alison,
thank you. Congratulations.
Alison, what
Alison.
I suggest you do now, Alison, is if you write Sarah a private message in the chat, she's going to need your address to get that cookbook over to you. So congratulations there. So we're nearly...
Magda, if you feel left out, then you can get it on Amazon.
Oh, you can get it on Amazon.
I will check your website anyway, Sarah, just for some tips and everything.
Fantastic. So yeah, just going back to what I was saying, if you did want to get started with me on a personal nutritional plan, it starts off as a very low cost. In fact, Magda's been on the plan, so it's great to have somebody who's been on this journey with me. We do a fun 6-day breakfast club just to get you started, and then I give you lots of nutritional education every morning. And also you do get that health MOT as well. But I want to tell you some dates for your calendar before we wrap up. Yesterday, in this talk that I was telling you about, I just mentioned that, you know, if anyone's struggling with water, then you may want to join me on a free 5-day fun water challenge. And there was a lot of interest in that yesterday, wasn't there, Alison? So I'm getting ready to be launching that next Monday. We're going to start next Monday. So anybody who's on the call or watching the replay will be going out over the weekend. So there's still time, if you're watching the replay, to drop me a message. You can either leave a comment underneath the YouTube channel, or wherever you may be watching this, leave me a comment or send me an email. My email address is contact@Vanessa-Mary.com. Let me know if you want to be part of this challenge. I think Alison put a name up yesterday anyway. Magda, are you going to be with us? Let's do it. I know you've been on this challenge before.
Yes, I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah,
I can.
Yes, yeah, I would like to.
Yay! So what I'll do is I'll be hosting it, and Sarah, of course, if Sarah wants to join us, have a bit of fun. It'd be good for you to network in the group as well, Sarah, because what I've done, I've put the podcast chat in the Facebook group, and also I'll redirect them to the free download as well, Sarah. So please join us on that challenge. And the challenge is going to be held in the Health and Wellbeing Café community Facebook group. But let's now think about what's happening next month. As much as it's been fantastic to have Sarah on the call, I really enjoyed our chat last week. I've really enjoyed you being here. Everything's recorded, Sarah, so, you know, everyone will have an opportunity for a replay. But next month is going to be different on a couple of levels. So not only is the guest speaker, I can't remember how to say her name in it. I think it's I in it. I can't remember how to say her name. She told me when I saw her. So this is embarrassing. But she's going to be back with us. Sorry, not back with us. She's going to be with me for the first time on this call, but we've spoken quite a few times now. She's an energy healer. Absolutely fantastic. One of the modalities that she does is theta healing, which I personally experienced. So I have a theta healer, and it's an absolutely fantastic form of energy. So that's Thursday, the 24th of February. Do not miss it. Now, as I said before, I was thinking I need to be making some changes. So there will be some changes that will be coming through for the Health and Wellbeing Cafe. I'm not going to go into details now. If you're on my email list, you're going to hear about it. I'll also be making some announcements on social media. So please do look out for that. But what I want to say is, you know, thank you for everyone who supported the Health and Wellbeing Cafe, either as a contributor or as a guest. So thank you so much. But there will be changes coming up for the February edition. Another date for your diary. I delivered this talk for the first time last night. Alison heard it first. That was actually the first debut of the talk. It's called Supercharge Your Super You. I've had interest from others who weren't able to come on that call, and I will be showcasing the talk within the business community that I'm part of. But I also want to share this talk with others. So it's Supercharge Your Super You, and I will be doing the premiere of my own webinar on Saturday, the 26th of February, and that's going to be at 11:30 till 12:30. So please, you know, support me on that talk, because it will be the webinar that I'm doing, and I've got to kind of navigate Zoom to use the webinar function on there. So hopefully there'll be no technical hiccups, but please do have a listen. Alison, is it worth them tuning in? You heard it first. Yes, please take yourself off mute. Thank you.
Yes, it definitely is, and I'm disappointed because I can't make that to sort of you know, really get it stuck in there. I'm doing a 2-day promotion in Essex.
Well, do you know what, Alice? Yeah, well, this is going to be a webinar series, so it will run again. You know, I'll plan out the next time, so I'll definitely let you know if you wanted to hear it. But I agree with you, Alison. It's one of, I know I shared a lot of information, and I know, remember at one point I did say, I know I'm going a bit deep here, but it was just an introduction to how to supercharge the super you. So yeah, I'll be running it again.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and also I think that for me, it's the way you put it across, and your voice, the tones you used in your voice is to me, that's something is quite important. And I know that some people might think that's quite strange, but I'm another one of these that, you know, when an artist does the work, if I can be drawn into that drawing, I know that you know, they've done a good job.
Oh, thank you so much for that feedback. I really appreciate it, Alison. Okay, so we're wrapping up. Let's stay connected. Okay, if you're not on my email list, and maybe it's the first time you're hearing from me and you're thinking, actually, I'm quite interested, I want to know a bit more, please get on the list. All you need to do is send me an email to conneect@vanessa-mary.com. If you are listening to the replay and you are on the YouTube channel, please give this video a thumbs up if you like the content, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press the bell so you'll know when new content is coming up. And also join the Facebook group. It's the Health and Wellbeing Cafe community. We're having fun in there. I post in there, you know, lots of tips. There's always something for you to learn in that cafe community. So I'd love to see you there. So for us on the call, we're going to stop recording and we're going to have a chat. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for joining us. And I look forward to seeing you at another event. You take care. Bye.